Good day everyone, welcome to channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. My name is Carl, registered migration agent. Now over the past month, from March to April, today it's towards the end of April, there has been a lot of updates and a lot of changes come into effect in regards to regional skill visas. Now, because I have been receiving so many inquiries, comments and questions in regards to coming up visas, obviously I know all the viewers are very interested about the changes and wanted to know where they could place themselves to be eligible for the next coming up, the biggest change for the Australian visa scheme here. Now, I would like to take this opportunity today to give you an update and the summarize of the whole regional skill visas. Now, before we begin, I would like to tell you at the current stage there are two regional visas that's looking towards to be changed or amended or replaced. The first one is under the subclass 489 and the other one is the subclass 187. Now I will take the opportunity to check the 489 visas with you first. Now obviously under 489 visas there are two streams. One is the family stream and the other one is the state sponsor stream. So I won't chat about the family stream because that generally means if you have a family members residing permanently in the region of Australia, then they will be eligible to sponsor you, and you basically stay there for the next 2 years and work for 1 year. Then you'll be eligible to apply for permanent residence afterwards. Now, I would like to take opportunity to talk more about the state sponsor stream, where we predominantly promote 3 states: Northern Territory, South Australia, and also Tasmania. So let's jump into their websites and chat about how you could actually gain a possibility to be sponsored and nominated by these states. So the first one, let's have a look. It's South Australia's immigration website. So the key focus here, I would like to take you into this occupation list page where you will focus on the state nominated occupations and aim at this. And if you haven't studied or come abroad and study abroad, you might want to choose South Australia, predominantly in Adelaide, because that's predominantly where all the colleges and that university are located. And you will pick these long lists of occupation to study, okay? Because generally and predominantly most of them are eligible for 489 visa streams, and all the other one require possibility for 190 visas, but then obviously you are required to achieve higher mark and higher points within the EOI systems. Okay, so this South Australia is a bit harder, but it's one of my the most preferred state if I would like to advise the viewer to go, or the potential migrant to go. The reason is, first of all, the Australian National Space Centre will be established in South Australia, and also the Tesla's biggest battery plant is actually built in South Australia. It's a state where it connects to all the different other states around Australia, and obviously opportunity is more by means of job and careers. Now, looking into the current systems, getting a job and work into a workforce, get employed, is very vital for you to actually migrate in the future. So state of South Australia is my most preferred state, but look, it's not my decision to make for all the viewers or for you to actually go there. If you prefer Tasmania or Northern Territory, it's really up to you. So let's move into Northern Territory. It's a fair, easier, and I believe it's the easiest scheme where they don't provide too much information, because basically there's only 3 here. You got skill and experience relevant to Northern Territory, and these skills and experience can be anything within the occupation list. If you click in this link, you actually see almost everything in there. Okay, strong evidence of positive employment prospects. Generally, all you're required to do is to get a job offer, get an actual job. If you're there, you study there, graduate there, get a job, and you'll be eligible. Obviously, the job has to be related to your occupation. You cannot be graduated as an accountant and work as a baker. That won't work, okay? And finally, demonstrate your commitment to living and working there. So if you have graduated there and got a job and work there, well, look, you're very likely to get it anyway. But the problem with Northern Territory is it's a least developed city like Darwin's in compared to all the other major cities around Australia. So issue here is getting a job is actually hard because the opportunity is less. Whether or not you actually get it, it's the hardest area if you're heading to Northern Territory. But if you do get a job, very high chance to actually get the visa anyway. Now jumping to Tasmania. Okay, under 489 visas. Now Tasmania is very interesting where they put it into several categories. So the first category basically says if you have been living in Tasmania as a student visa holder and study there for at least 1 year, by means in the actual definition is 1 academic year, 40 weeks, you likely to be invited and nominated. Okay, that's pretty easy, but the only issue here is how do I find a 1 year course? Okay, it's not many, and it's very competitive. You can find it. It's very competitive because there will be a lot of other candidates there studying the same courses as well. Now, the second category is about the same as all the other ones. So you've been working there 6 months and blah, 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 full time. So it's generally the same with all the other 2 states. Overseas applicant, this is a bit hard. You actually need a proficient English to actually be nominated overseas. So they're treating all the skilled workers overseas, not in the state of Tasmania, harder. Now, if you got proficient English, you got work experiences, would you still consider to go Tasmania? Don't know, okay? I don't know how this will work. And the other way is getting a job offer overseas. Now, if you're not there, how do you get a job offer? Again, no, unless you're a very, specific type of occupation that you worked in. Family in Tasmania, we've spoke about this. So if you got any family living there for more than 12 months or more, they will be able to sponsor you. So that including siblings, aunt, uncle, grandparents. And now lastly, category 5. This is very interesting. Now, if you could develop a comprehensive business plan, how comprehensive it is, well, you basically have to spell out all these points about the target market in Tasmania, requirement, registration, opportunity. So you need to show that your business could actually make money in Tasmania. And whatever that is, if you could throw in there, Tasmania government, if they accept it, they're likely to nominate you. So it's not people come and making comment and inquire that if they were only to open up a coffee shop, for instance, or restaurants. Now, my feedback to that is it's very unlikely because that's just too easy for anybody can do. Okay, unless it's very specific restaurant or high class dining and stuff like that, fine dining stuff. But then you have to show that it's actually going to make money because you don't want to spend and overspend, and the chart does not show that you can make money, then obviously it won't work anyway. So that's all Tasmania. So I've spent a bit of time today to actually go through these 3 states about the current 489 visas, which will be replaced under subclass 491. They are exactly the same, provided the only changes is that the extra points if you're single, or you're having a partner who is a skill assist or have passed the competent English, where we have previously explained over the past videos. So people come to me and start complaining that how would this work, because the current invitation round for the EOI has jacked up to 80 points, 85 points, and 90 points. No one can actually do it. Totally correct. But let's moving to that new element in after November the 16th. If you're a single and you reside in regional areas, you're possible to actually get 75 and 80 points. Think about that, okay? And that's how it will actually move towards the future. Now, I would like to take a bit more time to go through the new 494 regional employment visas, where it's going to replace the current 187 visa. So the current 187 visa says you're required to have 3 years of work experiences and also have passing IELTS 6 across 4 bands. Now, no skill assessment is required. It's a direct entry, meaning that once you get approved, you will obtain permanent residency straight away. But after November 16th, the game is over. The new game comes alive. So if you do have an employer in regional area of Australia, consider to lodge 187 before November. Otherwise, if you miss the boat, the new game under 494, after you get approved, you're required to stay and work there for another 3 years before you can actually transfer into a permanent residency visas. Okay, now let's jump into that the 494. So that's the email I received from Migration Institute of Australia on the 9th of April. So basically, let's just go down to 494. Look, the position must be genuine. Market salary to be above 53,900. Obviously passed by the RCB regional certifying body. Additional skilling Australian fund to be charged $3,000. It's treated as a government fees. Okay, and the basically it's all the same. Now the only issue here is that we found that they still require, the additional requirement is that you need to be skill assessed. And secondly, the very interesting part is where I want to take you to, is the part of 494.225. Now, bear in mind, on the 18th of May, general election of Australia will take place. Now, what you are seeing here under this piece of legislation is required to be passed and taken by the upcoming Minister of Immigration. Now, whether or not he or she would actually do it, accomplish it, and actually implement this or not, we do not know. But if there's any news and coming up, changes, amendments coming up, we'll certainly let you know. Now, the 494.225 says here, at the time of application, you're required to show that you have been employed in that nominated occupation for at least 3 years on full-time basis. Now, personally, how I feel about it, if that's me, I've got that experience qualification and get a skill assessed, why would I still choose to go regional? No, I don't know. But the trick here is under number 2. It says the minister may, by legislative instruments, specify circumstances in which applicant is not required to be employed in the mentioned paragraph 1A, meaning that the upcoming Minister of Immigration is eligible to actually putting in place this legislative instrument and dictating what occupation does not require to show or demonstrate they have 3 years of work experiences. Now, very interesting. Now, how do I find that? No one can find it now. Unfortunately, we need to let the election finish. So whoever the upcoming minister will then specify that. Now, we don't have that information yet, but consider to subscribe to my channel, okay, to this channel, okay. So once we get that news and updated, you will have that straight away, okay. Now, that's basically a very quick recap of what had happened for the past month from March to April. There has been a lot of information coming up due to the mass amount of inquiries and comments that I received. I decided to put this video again to summarize the whole game of regional skill visas, so that all the viewers who actually know more about it, have more understanding about it. But obviously, if you still have questions and comments and wanted to ask, you email me, leave a comment below. I shall reply you in due course. Now, that's for the video today, and stay tuned for our next coming up news. Thank you. Goodbye.